Here are some facts about Toyota that might blow your mind. Toyota is the #1 most valuable brand in the entire automotive industry. That means they are worth more than Mercedes, BMW, Audi, or any other car company on the planet. But wait, there is more. Toyota holds the records for the best-selling car model in the world history, the Corolla. We are talking about over 50 million Corollas sold since 1966. That means every 27 seconds for the last 57 years, someone somewhere in the world bought a Corolla. Let that sink in for a moment. And here's the kicker, about 80% of all Toyota cars built in the last 20 years are still running on the roads today. Compare that to the luxury German brands where a 10-year-old car is often considered high maintenance or ready for the scrapyard. So how did a company that started making fabric looms become the reliability king of the automotive world? Today I'm gonna tell you the incredible story of Toyota and show you exactly why Mercedes and BMW simply can't compete when it comes to real-world durability and quality. Toyota's story starts in a way you'd never expect. Back in 1867, a guy named Sakichi Toyoda was born into a poor family in a small Japanese town called Kozai. His dad was a carpenter, his mom wove fabric at home by hand, and both parents worked incredibly hard just to put food on the table. Young Sakichi watched his mother struggling with those old manual weaving machines every day. It was backbreaking work. He also loved reading, especially books about inventions. Seeing his mom's struggle and being inspired by innovation, he decided to build something that would change everything. Japan's first automatic weaving machine. This wasn't just any machine. Sakichi kept improving it until he created the legendary Type G weaving machine that could work continuously without stopping, without reducing quality, and without slowing down. This machine was so good that some of them are still being used today, over 100 years later. Talk about durability, this obsession with making things that last would become Toyota's trademark. Sakichi had a philosophy that would later define the entire Toyota company. I must serve my society and my country, and what I have received, I must return to society through my service. This wasn't just talk. This became the foundation of everything Toyota would do. By the early 1900s, the Toyota family business was booming, but the three major disasters hit Japan in 1920s. The Great Kanto earthquake in 1923, Japan's financial panic in 1927, and the worldwide Great Depression in 1929. These disasters destroyed Japan's railway system, and suddenly everyone needed cars and buses for transportation. The Japanese government started importing chassis from Ford to convert them into buses. When Sakichi's son, Kiichiro Toyoda, saw this opportunity, he convinced his father to let him explore car manufacturing. In September 1933, they added an automotive division to their textile factory. And yes, they changed the spelling from Toyota to Toyota with T because it sounded better and took exactly 8 brush strokes to write in Japanese, and 8 was considered a lucky number associated with wealth and prosperity. Now here's where Toyota showed their true character. They had zero experience making cars, so what did they do? They bought cars from Ford, Chevrolet, and Chrysler, took them completely apart piece by piece, and studied how everything worked. This is called reverse engineering, and it taught them something crucial: how to learn from others while making improvements. Their first car, the Model AA, came out in 1936, and honestly, it wasn't great. It had problems, it broke down, and it was basically a copy of American cars. But instead of making excuses, Toyota studied every single failure. Every broken part became a lesson. Every customer complaint became an opportunity to improve. The World War II hit, and everything changed. Japan was devastated. Raw materials became incredibly scarce, and Toyota had to make military equipment instead of cars. But this period of scarcity taught them something invaluable: how to do more with less. They had to be incredibly efficient because they simply couldn't afford to waste anything. After the war, Japan was in ruins. Most companies would have given up, but Toyota's managers realized something important. To survive and grow, they needed to think about foreign markets, and the biggest, most promising market was America. Toyota's first attempt at the American market was a disaster. In 1957, they launched the Toyopet Crown in California. It was a complete failure. They only sold 258 cars in 1958. The problem? This car was designed for narrow Japanese road, not American highways. The engine was too weak, it couldn't handle highway speeds, and it overheated constantly. But here's where Toyota's mindset made all the differences. Instead of giving up, they pulled the car from the market and spent years studying American roads, American drivers, and what Americans actually needed in a car. They even established a research center in Southern California called Quality Design Research in 1973, just to understand the American market better. Then came 1973, the year that changed everything. The oil crisis hit America hard. Middle Eastern countries stopped selling oil to the US, and gas prices went through the roof. Suddenly, those huge American cars that got 8 to 10 miles per gallon became financial disasters for their owners. But Toyota was ready. They had been making small, fuel-efficient cars for years because that's what made sense in Japan. Cars like Corolla and Corona were getting 25 to 30 miles per gallon, revolutionary numbers at the time. American customers started buying Toyotas like crazy, not just because they saved on gas, but because these cars simply didn't break down. Word spread fast. Your neighbor bought a Toyota and drove it for 200,000 miles without major problems. Your coworker's Toyota had 300,000 miles and was still running perfectly. By 1975, Toyota became the #1 imported car brand in America. By 1986, they were the first imported brand to sell over 1 million cars in a single year in the US. So what made Toyota different? It all comes down to their production philosophy, and surprisingly, it started with a trip to an American supermarket. In the 1950s, two Toyota executives, Eiji Toyoda and Taiichi Ono, visited Ford's factories in America. They were amazed by Ford's mass production system, but realized they couldn't copy it exactly because they didn't have the capital, space, or resources. Then they visited a supermarket called Piggly Wiggly, and something clicked. They noticed how the store only restocked shelves when items were sold, not before, not after, but exactly when needed. They thought, what if we applied this to the car manufacturing? This became the foundation of the Toyota production system, also known as lean manufacturing. Let me break down the 3 core principles that make Toyota special. Number 1, just in time, or JIT. Instead of keeping huge warehouses full of parts, Toyota developed a system where parts arrived exactly when they're needed. Think of it like making sandwiches. Instead of buying tons of ingredients that might go bad, you have fresh ingredients delivered exactly when you need them for each sandwich. This saves money, reduces waste, and ensures everything is fresh and up to the current specifications. Number 2, Jidoka, intelligent automation. This is brilliant. At Toyota, any worker can stop the entire production line if they spot a problem. In most companies, this would be unthinkable. The pressure to keep the line moving is enormous. But Toyota figured out that it's way cheaper to fix problem immediately than to let defective cars reach customers. Here is a real comparison. Ford's production line in Michigan averages 2 production line stops per week. Toyota's production line in Kentucky, They average 2,000 stops per week. That's not a problem. That's a precision. Each stop means someone found a way to make the car better. And number 3, Kaizen. Continuous improvement. This means change for the better, and it's a mindset that goes deep into Toyota's DNA. Everyone from the CEO to the janitor is encouraged to suggest improvements. No suggestion is too small. If someone finds a way to save 5 seconds in assembling a part, that's celebrated. Over thousands of cars, those 5 seconds add up to hours of improved efficiency. Now, let me give you some mind-blowing statistics that show why Toyota is in a league of their own. Toyota spent $1 million per hour, that's $24 million per day, on research and development. In 2016 alone, they registered over 1,500 patents in America, putting them alongside companies like Apple in innovation. They hold record for most cars produced in a single year, over 10 million cars in 2013. They have a presence in more than 170 countries worldwide. They've been Australia's best-selling car brand for over 25 years straight. But here is the most impressive stats. When Toyota decided to create their luxury Lexus brand, they spent over $1 billion on just the first model, the LS. They employed 1,400 mechanical engineers and 2,300 specialists, and they built and tested 450 prototypes before releasing the final car. Compare this to how other companies work. They might spend a few hundred million on a new model and test maybe 50 to 100 prototypes. Toyota's obsession with perfection before launch is why their cars are so reliable. Here is something fascinating about how Toyota thinks differently. While Mercedes and BMW try to pack every possible high-tech features into their cars, Toyota focuses on making fewer parts but making them absolutely perfect. Take their 6-cylinder 2GRFE engine. This single-engine design has been used in the Avalon, Camry, RAV4, Sienna, Venza, Lexus RX 350, Lexus GS, and even in racing cars like Corolla GR. That's the same basic engine in economy cars, luxury cars, and race cars. That's not corner cutting. That's engineering brilliance. When you perfect one engine and use it across multiple models, you can invest more time and money into making that one engine absolutely bulletproof. Mercedes and BMW, on the other hand, have dozens of different engines, each with their own potential problems. Another point, Toyota doesn't offer as many options as German cars because they know that every additional option is another potential point of failure. Their philosophy is simple: make basic components extremely well, test them thoroughly, and use them across multiple models. Don't get me wrong, Mercedes and BMW make beautiful, technologically advanced cars. They are often more fun to drive and have more luxury features, but complexity is the enemy of reliability. A modern Mercedes S-Class has over 100 million lines of computer codes, more than a fighter jet. It has dozens of sensors, multiple computer systems, air suspension, and advanced electronics. All of this technology is impressive when it works, but it also creates countless opportunities for things to go wrong. Toyota takes the opposite approach. They use proven, reliable technology rather than the absolute latest and the greatest. They might be a few years behind in having the flashiest features, but what they do have works consistently for decades. Some people think Toyota is boring or behind the times, but that's not true. They were the first to mass-market hybrid cars with the Prius in 1997, years before anyone else took hybrids seriously. They introduced the first hydrogen fuel cell car, the Mirai, in 2014. The difference is that Toyota only introduces new technology when they're absolutely sure it will work reliably for 20 plus years. They test everything extensively before it reaches customers. This careful approach means Toyota customers get proven technology rather than being beta testers for manufacturers' latest experiments. Toyota isn't just a car company, it's a way of thinking that comes from Japanese culture. Japanese culture values long-term thinking, patience, respect for workers, and continuous improvement. When you join Toyota as an employee, you are considered human capital, not just labor. Layoffs are extremely rare because they believe in investing in their people long term. Workers feel secure and valued, so they're more likely to suggest improvement and take pride in their work. On the other hand, Western companies often focus profits and meeting short-term goals. Toyota focuses on where they want to be in 20 to 30 years. This long-term thinking allows them to invest heavily in quality improvements that might not show immediate profit, but create better products over time. So why can't Mercedes and BMW compete with Toyota on reliability and durability? It comes down to philosophy and priorities. Mercedes and BMW focus on luxury, performance, and having the latest technology. They make cars for people who want the most advanced features and are willing to pay high maintenance costs for the privilege. Toyota focuses on making cars that work perfectly day after day, year after year, for regular people who need dependable transportation. They've built an entire system, from company culture to manufacturing process, around this goal. The Toyota story teaches us that sometimes the flashiest option isn't the best option. Sometimes quiet competence beats loud luxury. Sometimes doing the basic extremely well beats trying to do everything adequately. So what do you think? Have you experienced Toyota's legendary reliability firsthand? Or maybe you've owned a Mercedes or BMW and have a different perspective? Let me know in the comments below. So there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, I'm pretty sure that you will enjoy these two videos as well. If I miss anything, please drop a comment below. If I deliver something of value, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel, and I will catch you up in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.